Hello YouTube, this is Tank It Hard and welcome to my first of many videos. And this one's a pretty cool one because this is Fury of Giants, which is the new LFR raid wing in 10.1 PTR, which has three bosses, Assault, Rashok, and Zskarn. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this run, kind of just want to give you my background and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I started playing World of Warcraft 2008, 2009, rated US 100 and World 100 in Legion, and just try to do whatever I can to be the best that I can in my class, even though I don't have the time that I used to, right? Things change for all of us. Some of us, whether it's jobs, family, kids, we always take breaks from World of Warcraft, and that's totally fine and honestly needed at times. But it's always nerve wracking to get into a brand new tier or a brand new Mythic Plus season, and you're coming in halfway through and you have no idea what's going on. So you're worried about even getting back into the game. So that is what this community is all about, is getting people back into the game. Why is it so much fun? What's going on in raids, what's the walkthroughs, what's the routes, what's the guides, making it a one-stop shop in that regard. That's why I'm kind of showing the trash of this place, the route. So, even though you've never been here before, you still have an idea of what to do, what the trash does. So when you come in as a tank or a DPS or a healer, you have an idea, a really good idea of what to do. So a little bit about myself now. I main a Guardian Druid. I can play, at a really high level, Prot Pally, Vengeance Demon Hunter, and Prot Warrior. I don't really go too much into Blood DKs or Brewmasters, just not my style of tanking. My main style is Guardian. Guardian's a ton of fun. Your cast per minutes are extremely high. Your survivability is awesome. When you have CDs, it's just a fun class. The damage output is so much fun, especially in this tier with our 4-set bonus. It's a blast. It's so much fun to play. That's what I'm playing, right now in this run. And you'll see AoE, single target, in these different bosses. But if you want to go to the boss fights, I'll have them hyperlinked so you know exactly where to go if you don't want to see some of this trash. But just kind of important notes on this trash. You saw I went right around a trash pack, so you can skip a trash pack on this, if you want to, or if you want to pull everything, pull everything. Do what makes you happy, as long as you don't wipe. As far as classes that are going to be S tier, Prot Pallies and Blood DK are going to shine during this raid tier. There's so much magic damage that goes out that you're going to see a lot of Prot Pallies, and that's totally fine. If you're not a high level mythic progression guild, play whatever class you want. I'm going to be playing Guardian Druid because that's what I want to play, and that's what I have the most fun with, which is what this game's about. So a little about this run, right? So we were the first run on PTR of LFR. Literally, this came out the 21st. This run was the night of the 21st, like right after servers went live, and we went into this raid not knowing too much, but side note, there was mythic progression earlier in the day on both Assault and Rash. And those fights are going to be a ton of fun to watch on the World First because they are absolutely chaos. And I love fights that everyone has a job. So, especially on Rash, like if you lose 2 people during the whole entire fight, you're gonna wipe, because there's certain mechanics that are just gonna wipe you when people aren't soaking. And if you don't have enough people to soak because they're dead, then you're gonna have a huge problem. So this is the main trash all the way up to the first boss, which is going to be Assault. You just continue down this hallway, then you're going to hook a left up the stairs. All this trash is very self explanatory. Just keep in mind, pretty much everything in here has the frontal cleave from what I've noticed. So face everything away. Just kind of mitigate that as much as possible. But we're actually going to fast forward here now to the first boss. Um, and we will go from there. All right, first boss is Assault. So when you come into the room, you can see everyone in front here where I have my mouse. That is where you come into the room up the stairs. So the main premise of this fight is 3 phases, and you're going to be separated into 2 groups. Okay, a left group and a right group, because there's 2 platforms. You can see the one platform right over here on my mouse, and then the other platform's back behind me. So we are in the left group. As you see where the boss is standing now, this is not the middle of the room. So I'll kind of go over this so you understand. But 3 phase fight. Phase 1 is tank in the middle of the room, okay? And face him away from the raid because there's a frontal cleave. So you're going to face him towards the wall. There's a frontal cleave, heavy cudgel. If you're the main tank, right, you have him face towards the wall. You take um, the cudgel, and the off tank will stand behind the boss, so it's not hitting both you guys at the same time. After about 15-20%, the boss is going to jump off and phase 2 starts. Once phase 2 starts, you go to your platform, and it's just an ad fight from there on out, pretty much. So phase 2 is separate, go to your platform. There's going to be a shielded ad. You have to break down the shield and pick up all the ads as they come up. So once shield is broken, interrupt ad, pick up other ads. Boss is going to be jumping around in between platforms. So your job as the tank is to tank all the ads and to make sure you have the boss when he comes to your platform. During this time, DPS is going to be dropping rocks that the boss drops. And they're going to be dropping rocks down a wall where the ads are going to be climbing up. Phase 3 is the exact same as phase 1. You're going to return back to the center of the room and face him towards the wall for the frontal cleave, and then off tank will taunt and take on the boss from there. So here's the pull. As you see, I pull him towards me, and even then we're not directly center, but we're close enough. So the main thing to keep in mind here, right? So here's heavy cudgel, boom, take that. So the main thing to keep in mind is our gear is actually nerfed in this testing. Our item level was 388 or 390, right around there. So our gear is a lot lower than what it is on live. So there's the separation. Here's the ad. So as the tank, I get in a couple shots on the shielded ad, and then here comes all the other ads. Pick them up. It's very important here to pick them up and then put them back onto the shielded ad, right? So that way DPS is happy because they can pad their numbers, and you're breaking down a shield. So here's the boss. He came back. As far as tanking on the platforms in position, I messed around a lot on this, and I thought this spot was going to be a really good spot, and then you're going to see here right about now, ads come in and they start beating the snot out of my DPS. So I pick them up and then just kind of continue the fight. Now I know they're, the ads are going to, go to those DPS. So you just got to be careful of that. The biggest thing in phase 2 is not allowing any ads to go past you and towards the gate where you guys just came from. Because if they go to that gate and break it down, it's a wipe. And one ad can break down the gate. So you just need to be cognizant of that. You're going to see me here move positions a little closer to the edge. And that way I can see kind of the whole platform around me. And that's the spot that I think is probably the number one spot to tank all the ads. because it's not too centralized, but it's centralized enough that you can pick everything up. This is why Guardian Druids are really good on this fight, because you can just Moonfire ads. It's really good for snap aggro, bringing them back to you, and then raise them and thrash them down. So here's our second shielded ad, right? Pick up all these ads, pop all my CDs, and bring them back on the shield. Break down the shield. There's the boss. Right, so a lot of things happen really quickly on this fight, which is really cool. It's a super fun taking fight. So I was talking about that position earlier that I found to be like the best position. It's right here. You know, it's super easy to put that frontal cleave to a corner where nobody's at and just pay attention. I can see the whole platform and see if any ads are going to get by me. None are going to sneak behind me. They're all going to aggro to me, especially with Thrash. So, yeah, it's kind of dealer's choice on this one, on where you want to put them. But I think this is the best position personally. So we're about to go into phase 3 right here. Boss is going to jump to the other side. You see all the rocks on the ground. That's what the DPS pick up to drop on the ads. So all we're doing is damage control on the ads when boss isn't here. And phase 3 begins, right? So we go back to center. And it's just rinse and repeat. Pally takes the first cudgel. I taunt. I have boss. And we're good to go. Like I said, make sure you stand to the side. You don't want to get 2 stacks of this. LFR doesn't matter too much, but once this goes, you know, normal heroic, it's going to be a whole different story. Everything's going to hurt a lot more. And yeah, so we were nerfed to 388. 388 item level is where we were at. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. All right, so here's Rash. Rash, all in all, is a pretty simplistic fight. It's just 2 phases. First phase, you have one taunt swap mechanic. It's Earthen Crush and Flaming Slash. So one tank's going to take Earthen Crush, taunt, and the other tank's going to take Flaming Slash. Super easy. So you see where boss, how far he is off the wall? It's kind of like the outer ring. That's where you want to keep the boss, is on that outer ring around the entire room. So this fight is going to move, and you can choose clockwise, counterclockwise, whichever way you want to go here. There's 3 major things that you need to worry about other than the taunt swap mechanic. So the first one's Searing Slam. Searing Slam, a random raid member is going to be targeted with. They have to take it to the edge of the room, and the boss is going to jump on them and leave a pillar of lava. That lava is going to spawn waves that hurt pretty bad if you get hit by them. So that's why we're going to be moving the boss around. And you're going to see the Pally tank moving the boss closer to the pillars, and it's just dangerous because you're going to corner yourself and you don't want to do that. The next thing is Charge Smash. That is an entire raid soak. So what happens is a big circle comes on the ground, entire raid gets in it, and it's just shared damage in the Charge Smash. Next is Room of Flames, which is a bunch of little circles go out into the room, and one person has to stand in one circle. Once the boss gets to around 90 energy, he's going to do this huge frontal cleave. When he does that huge frontal cleave, you as the tank want to go in the center of the circle and move the boss all the way in the center, right by a purple marker there on the right-hand side. You want him in the center. And then phase 2 begins. And during phase 2, All you have to do is stand in the center, which is, there's going to be a big bubble in there. And you're going to dodge swirlies and DPS the boss. After phase 2 ends, rinse and repeat phase 1. That's the whole entire fight. So this is our we one-shotted this boss. He really wasn't terrible. You're going to see a lot of our DPS die. This fight takes a long time when all of your DPS is dead. So right here, Paladin pulls boss on X. This is, you know, this you don't want to be here, right? Here comes the pillar, and it's right on top of us. So I taunt the boss here. I move him away. Here comes charge smash. Everyone gets in there and soaks it, nice and easy. Continue moving the boss, just so you have enough room to maneuver. You're all good. So there was the entire technique, right? I took both. I took Earthen Crush and Flaming Slash, and I was just fine. So obviously normal and heroic, it's going to hurt a lot more. And mythic, it really hurts. So in LFR, not that big of a deal. I took both of them, and I didn't have a single personal or iron for up. So the DPS there stacked the two pillars. When you do that, you saw that flaming lava debuff that was on all of us. That is what happens when you stack them. So they need to be separated. Here in a second, Demon Hunter is going to get targeted, and you're going to see he does not stack it, and we don't get that lava debuff. Boom, pretty solid. Here is the huge frontal, Shadow Lava Blast. So I taunt the boss and move to the opposite side. Paladin taunted him off me, and as you see, the boss is not in the center. This is very dangerous. That is how you wipe. So you need to make sure the boss is in the center. All right, boss is in the center. Phase 2 begins. All you have to do is stay in that circle and dodge those swirlies. Paladin takes him back to the corner, and you don't want to do this. You don't want to trap yourself. You want to keep moving around. So here comes another Searing Slam. Stacks it on top. Nice little debuff for all of us. I bring the boss back over here. Now we're good to go again. So that's the fight. Rinse and repeat. But I'm going to fast forward because I'm going to show you what happens when you put the boss in the center before he's at the correct energy level. All right. So here's the frontal cleave, right? I kind of cornered myself right here. So I roared, taunted, Paladin taunted him back, but he put him in the center. He figured it out. So all is going well here during this. Again, just DPS the boss. We have almost half of our array dead. And then after this intermission, the Paladin keeps him in the center. So I want you to keep an eye on Rash's energy here. So 3, 4, 5, 100. And now he's starting his Ancient Fury cast. That cast goes off, it's an absolute wipe. So boss cannot be in the center of the room unless he's at the correct energy level to start phase 2. All right. One boss left, Zskarn. We'll go ahead and fast forward to that pool. So Zskarn's a super easy fight. It's one phase, tank in the center, near the center where he's standing. Taunt swap at 6 stacks. So it's actually really funny because the other tank and myself, we had no idea, about this fight. Kind of, what's the taunt swap mechanic? We'll figure it out. I took 23 stacks, and it wasn't doing anything to my health. But that's not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is 6 stacks, because once he finally taunted the boss off me, when my debuff fell off, he was at 6 stacks when I taunted. So this fight is simple. Take him near the center, dodge the fire on the ground. He's going to spawn ads, and you just want to kill the ads as fast as you can, but this is a single target fight. Drops the lava on the ground, go ahead and move him out of that. Rinse and repeat the whole fight. Here comes the ads. Once ads are out, you kill them. Again, just rinse and repeat. This is the whole entire fight. You're going to see huge uh, blast waves coming out of the corners. Just take the boss out of that, and you're good to go. Like I said, 23 stacks. My health is just fine. There's the big blast waves. Keep moving the boss. There you go. That's the entire raid wing. So please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. And I hope to see you all again soon. If you have any questions, please leave any comments below, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and God bless.